It's been good. You know, the guys are really taking a hold of it. The process leading up to these first few practices, I think the guys are preparing well. They're understanding what's asked of them, you know, from a preparation standpoint and an installation standpoint, because it's different. You know, it's a different operation, and we're using, you know, more shifts and motions. There's more terminology to it, and so it's difficult. It's a difficult deal, and so, but they're handling it well. They're staying positive. There's good urgency. There's going to be mistakes, and we know that going in, you know, as coaches. But trying to limit those mistakes, and really asking them to look back at a practice and go, all right, what happened, what went wrong, and then let's fix it, or how can I prepare better.
I know we wanted to really incorporate the tight end position more and more compared to years past, but really not having the numbers right now, how much of a challenge is it? I know the captain is coming in fall camp, but right now, how are you dealing with that?
Sure, it's a challenge, and you know, those guys are getting a lot of reps. I mean, that's the good thing. You know, Nolan and those guys are, you know, getting reps, and they're succeeding and they're failing, and they're, you know, going through that whole process of seeing signals and working a new operation, and you know, but then you're diving into, you know, the depth is being very limited. So excited to get some of those guys here in the fall and be able to add to that mix, but it will limit us through spring.
The running back group, very talented, very inexperienced. Just in your coaching career, have you ever entered a situation with so much inexperience in such an important position?
I think of the running back position, you know, those guys being young, I mean, they're hungry, but both of those guys are guys that can step in and play right away. I mean, they're both smart, they're learning it quickly, you know, and physically, I don't see there's going to be any issue with them jumping into a game and rolling. You know, once it's all said and done, once we get through spring, once we get through, you know, the process in the off season through summer, and then they'll be rolling. So I don't think there's going to be any issues.
Do they look more prepared than usual freshmen you see when you get in spring?
The running backs?
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, they prepare really well. They're both very headsy and understand the game of football. And the urgency for, you know, a lot of their off time is all in the meeting room, you know, and when I see them in the hall, you know, they're talking about football and talking about plays, and, you know, what about this? Well, what if we get this? You know, I mean, they're all football all the time, and that's what you love to see, you know, as a coach, those guys that care about the game, they care about getting better, and I think they're just going to keep getting better and better every day.
What's your sense of just how guys are getting lined up on their spots, running the right routes that they need to run, and all that?
Right now, there's a lot of, you know, a little bit of that paralysis, you know, trying to see signals, and they're trying to get it right, and they're, you know, there's a lot of tightness, and you can feel it out there. You know, once they get the flow and understand the signals, it's going to be a lot more smooth. They're going to get to their spots, but I'm totally with you on that. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Is that pretty normal just for, you know, introducing so many new concepts and language and all that stuff? And how does that compare to other situations that you've been in?
It's normal. There's going to be that break-in process and getting used to an operation, and that's going to be the challenge that for us, you know, as coaches, to challenge them into, all right, now you've been through a few practices now, relax, okay, and let's just go play football. All right, you guys know the signals, and let's just get out there and go play football, settle down a little bit, and play a lot faster.
What's your impression of Jaden so far?
Well, I've had one practice with him so far, but he's one of those guys that he can make all the throws. He's obviously very athletic. He's that even keel all the way through, and, you know, whether it's, you know, some highs and lows in practice, and he's very coachable, and you know, he's got the ability to do anything out there. It's very impressed with him.
Did he do anything today that you didn't expect?
What I really notice with him is his ability to make any throw, and especially throw the deep ball. He throws the deep ball probably better than any quarterback I've seen. And just with the air and the touch, and just has some natural throwing ability. You know, even when his feet may be off a little bit, you know, there's some mechanical things we're going to work with him, but he can make throws from all different angles, and that's what impresses me the most. You know, his deep ball, and then the ability to make all the throws.
Every coach focuses on details. You seem to do it at a very high level. Where did that originate from?
Well, I've had influences from a lot of different coaches. Starting with my dad, was a high school head coach and a long-time head coach. So it started there. He was very detail-oriented and he knew the way he wanted things. I was with Coach Baldwin for a long time at Eastern Washington, and different style of offense, but still, a lot to it, a lot of intricacies. And then really took it to a new level with Boise and the Boise offense and Coach Harsin. And the attention to detail is at an all-time high, there. And a lot goes into a play from a coach's standpoint, and so we got to be very detailed with, the shifts and motions, where are you getting to, the timing of the cadence, the timing motions. I mean, there's a lot to it, and so you don't have enough time as a coach. You've got to use your time wisely in those meetings, and there's only so much time you can use. So. You've got to be very clear and concise and take the gray out.
With the tight end room, what's your early sense of how active they can get in the receiving game?
The tight end room? They've got different, there's different styles in that room right now. And Case Hatch, that fullback / tight end, has got some different things that he can do, especially in the run game, and leak him out to the flats and can do some things there. Not going to be a big vertical stretch for us, but it can give us that physical nature definitely in the run game. Still working with Nolan and trying to figure him out a little bit. He's a big tight end, and I think he can be very good in the run game, and then also that big target, down the middle and seams and drags and things like that. But still trying to get a feel for him. And then Curtis he's got good athleticism, good hands. He's surprised me in the fact that he's really put forth a ton of effort and urgency in learning it, and I think he's coming along real well. It was too bad the ankle yesterday.
Brandon Pierce, pretty quick kid. Didn't get much of a chance to play last year. Undersized, adjusted as well. What early thoughts about him? He made a lot of catches out there.
He's got good speed. He can roll. he's a dynamic guy, and he's tough to cover. So if get those teams in man coverage, he can be a problem. It's just finding how he can be a part of the offense. With using his speed and his athleticism, and not trying to give him too much, but hey, here's your role and you can be really good at it. I think he's definitely building that role and trying to build trust with the coaches.